It's a hot, humid morning here in South Florida with the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE. Today I'm going to be driving it down to Marco Island to see what kind of EV range this thing is capable of. I did it earlier this week and got about 28.5, but I think I can do better. And then on the way back, I want to get a better idea of also the miles per gallon. So let's turn on our massaging seats in this Summit model and let's go. Pulling out a little bit in front of traffic there. The electric motor, I did a 0 to 60 and it took me, oh gosh, 12 seconds, maybe even longer. I'll put what it was. It took quite a while to get to 60 miles an hour. That's why there's a 2-liter turbo in this vehicle as well to scoot you up, and it doesn't ever really lock you in. I guess I could pop it over to electric mode. And even if you're in electric mode, you put the pedal down all the way, the gasoline engine will fire on to help you get up to speed, and which it does very quickly with the assistance of that gas 2-liter turbo engine. Braking is fairly predictable and it is able to come to a stop pretty smoothly, but you do feel that 8-speed transmission downshifting. Sometimes it's a little jerky. And I right now have maxed out the power bar on here for the electric motor, and I'm just barely able to keep up with traffic. If you load this with passengers, now it also depends on what kind of driving conditions you're in. If you're in more of a dense city with more stoplights from here to there, it's gonna have no problem keeping up with traffic. But like from a stoplight that goes straight to 60 miles an hour in this case, it is a bit of a slouch. Now I just set the radar cruise control here. Everything comes up on the head-up display very bright and crisp. Also, I seem to have, with the radar cruise control on, green indicators on each side of the large MID here, which is a cool little detail that I didn't notice before. If I turn it off, it just goes back to like a white accent light instead of the green. Now for ambient temperature, that is important when it comes to any vehicle efficiency, whether it's a gas car or not. It's about 78 degrees outside with humidity about maxed out. At this rate, at least according to the calculations, I got about 22 miles left to go before I hit Marco Island, and I have about 24 miles left on the EV range expectancy. Now I'm going to try to stomach this 78 degrees on the end. It's probably a little bit warmer here on the inside than 78, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to try to deal with it as long as possible. I could turn on the ventilated seats. That might help a little bit, but the AC in here is so strong, even on the base fan setting, that sometimes I just prefer to have no AC because I'm on a cool box all the time. And not having that AC on should help our range. I would say probably by at least 10%. That's just a gut feeling. Now, even though I'm on electric mode with the button over here on the left-hand side of the dash, the gasoline engine actually came on at some point in time, and I had no idea it was on. It may have come on when I was cranking the music, which, by the way, the sound system in here, this Macintosh, is fantastic. Top 5 probably that I've tested, at least like top 5 in terms of brands. All right, because like you have a bunch of different ELS and an Acura and a bunch of different Mark Levin, a Lexus, and those are all pretty much fantastic. But anyways, yeah, the gasoline engine will fire on at times and you won't even know about it unless you look here on the MID. Got this old Sienna here. I see a lot of first generation Siennas down here in Florida. They just run forever. Even second generations, a lot of those as well. Very impressive. Made it down to Marco Island, no problem at all. So far I've gone 24.4 miles on electric mode, and it's telling me I have 8 left. You got to keep in mind, with AC earlier this week, in the heat of the day, the best I got was 28.5 miles of EV range. So it looks like we're gonna blow by that by me getting a little hot and sweating here by keeping the AC off. And since we made it to Marco, no problem on electric range, we're now gonna head on over to Goodland, which I've actually never been to Goodland, even though I live very close to it. So this will be a fun adventure. And this is actually, I have a turn here, which doesn't happen in Florida very often, so I appreciate that. I think Jeep's done a really good job with the tuning of this electric motor as well, because when you come off brake at a stop, you would think the instant torque would immediately start pulling the vehicle forward, but actually there's a bit of a delay, and then it's pretty much waiting. It's not like a brake hold where you stay stopped, but it really slowly incorporates the rollout of the torque, so you're just not thrown forward when you get off the brake pedal. So we've made it to Goodland, which is very, very small. There's the signs. The first time I've been here, historic fishing village of Collier County. I think I've also taken you guys when I reviewed maybe a Corolla hybrid once to Everglades City. That's not that far from me. This looks like it'd be a fun place right there. Lots of like umbrellas, watering hole, live music stand there. There's a little bar and restaurant down there. There's also a boat dock here, which maybe I actually am headed to right here. So we're going to the Goodland Boat Park. So no overnight parking, that's not a problem for us. So far we've gone 30.5 miles and it says we have 3 miles left on EV range. There's the boat slip. Don't want to slip this guy down into the drink. Let's keep it dry. If you guys maybe want to see the water behind with the digital rearview mirror, keeping it fancy. Kirk's Seafood Market, there you go guys. It was meant to be. I was meant to come here to Kirk's Seafood Market. Shrimp, fresh fish, stone crab claws, October through May. Yes, it is not stone crab season right now, unfortunately. Nice combo right there, a Stinger and a Lexus RX. A little park here. Great for birthday parties, I'm sure. Well, of course, that's what I think of with the amount of kids I have. And we have a museum. Colusa Indian Museum, that's pretty cool. It is free. That's really neat. Margood Harbor Park, this is cool. This overpass might be the end of our battery electric range here. This is the only sort of hill we typically have in South Florida, our overpasses over large bodies of water. And it really, I mean, you can actually appreciate Florida on another level because you can actually see the trees and their glory and the water a lot better here. So always appreciate that when I come down to Marco Island area. 1% remaining on the battery, or at least for the EV charge, not on the entire battery, but 33.1 miles, still waiting for that gasoline engine to kick on here, and it will show up on my little electric mode or e-hybrid power flow screen. There it is, it gave me a chime. Electric mode temporary unavailable, battery level too low, but the gasoline engine has kicked on. I didn't even know it. I can see it only because of the little blue line down here, and as well as the blue gasoline engine. I can't feel it or hear it only until I get into the gas a little bit. Now, I was able to get, it said about 74 miles per gallon. I think that's the EV equivalent. So just a little bit over 33 miles of fully electric range. We're zeroing it out, and now we're going straight into the hybrid portion of the video. And I'm gonna turn the AC on this. I'm getting a little too moist in here. That's a nice Tundra. So we got AC will come on, cool it down a bit, and that'll give us an idea of the fuel economy. Driving about 60 miles per hour on the highway in full hybrid mode, we're getting about 25 miles per gallon, which is not too bad considering all the additional weight of the battery pack and you know, ride height control in this vehicle as well. Now I've concluded my highway driving, and now I'm going to get back into city, obviously city driving here. But on the highway, I was able to get 27.9 miles per gallon. Now, I was never going much over 60 miles an hour. So it's best case scenario, ground is flat, it's not super hot out right now, I'm at sea level, etc., etc. Just got back home, 28 miles per gallon. That's way more than I was expecting, over about 30 miles. So let's head into the office, plop down some numbers, and see how much it costs to fuel this thing on electric and gas. All right, back in the office running the numbers here. Based off the cost of electricity and gas in my area, as well as the efficiency I achieved today, this is how I got to these numbers. So if you're plugging in all the time and driving exclusively on electric, you're only spending about 7 cents per mile. And if you're driving only on electric mode for, let's say, 10,000 miles a year, you're only spending about $720 to fuel the Grand Cherokee 4xE. Now, if you're running it in hybrid only mode, based off the miles per gallon I saw today, and based off of $3.39 current gas prices in my area, I'm getting about 12 cents per mile of running cost, which equates to about $1,200 a year. So at least in my area with my efficiency and cost of energy, you're saving about $500 per year if you're driving 10,000 miles a year. And if you're driving only exclusively on gas or hybrid mode, or only exclusively on EV mode. Likely, most of you guys are probably running 50-50 on EV and hybrid. So then your cost would be right in the middle of this, maybe somewhere around $900 to $1,000 a year to fuel it. And I just did the math for 22 miles per gallon for the non-hybrid Grand Cherokee, and that's going to cost about $1,500 a year based off of what I see here, compared to the $1,200 in hybrid mode or the $720 in pure EV mode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more shakedowns like this, more efficiency tests, it's a lot of fun to do with plug-in hybrids, especially because it's essentially two cars in one, two powertrains in one. It's always fun for me. Tickles my fancy. But I'll see you guys down below if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more tests like this in the future, just let me know down below. Smash the like button if you made it this far in the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.